right, so let's start this review. It looks like this first question is multiple choice. I didn't give you much room on the review, so I'm going to use scratch paper to figure it out. Okay? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to try this point right here. 1, -4, 3. So I'm going to take 1, plug it in for x. I'm going to take -4, plug it in for y. I'm going to take 3 and plug it in for z. So I'm going to go 5 times 1 minus 4 times -4 plus 5 times 3, and it needs to equal 29. That doesn't equal 29, so that one's out. Okay? Let's say it did work. Let's pretend it did. If it did, it doesn't mean it's the answer. It's got to work for all of them, or it doesn't work. Now let's try 0, 6, -1. So 5 times 0 minus 4 times 6 plus 5 times -1. Oh, it's -29, so that one wasn't even close anyways. 0 minus 24 minus 5 is 29. So this one works for the first one. Now I got to try it for the second one. So let's go over here. 0 minus 6 plus 4 times -1 equals -10. -6 minus 4 equals -10. It does. Okay? So it worked for the second one. Now I got to try it for the third one, because it could work for the first two, but it might not work for the third. Who knows how good my distractors are? So -5 minus 8 minus 2 is, wait a minute, did I do something wrong? Because that's -15. Wait. -5 minus 8 minus 2 is supposed to be -13. But wait a minute, when I do that, I get -15. So that doesn't work. Okay? So let me see. It doesn't mean it's the third one. I feel like I'm not very confident right now, and I could have made a mistake. So let me see. It's got to work for one of them, okay? There's not going to be, oops, plus -2 equals -13. So now I'm taking this one, and I decided to plug it into the last one. I don't know, it just felt right. Okay, -5. Wait a minute, is that my mistake? That's my mistake. Some of you caught it. I literally plugged in, I was trying this point, but then once I got to this equation, I tried this point. So I went a little bit too fast. That's why it didn't work for the last one. So let me try this again. So I should be using this one for this. -5 times 0 minus 2 times 6 plus -1 equals -13. -12 minus 1 is -13. Okay, it works for all three. This is the answer. Okay, so I love when I make mistakes because it reminds us how easy it is to make mistakes. Now, what do you want for work? Or what do I want for work? Just show me that the right answer is the right answer. Okay? All right, let's go to this one. Factoring. Okay, it's advanced factoring, which means I got to simplify this. So let me rewrite it here. 3x to the 6, b squared minus 7a cubed b plus 2. Okay. So this is intimidating because of the b, so I'm just going to pretend the b isn't there. It's also intimidating because it's an a, so I'll make it an x. It's also easier when it's an x squared. So I'm going to make it more friendly for me. I'll worry about going crazy later. 3x and x. All the ways to get 2 are 2 and 1. Okay? So let me put the 2 here and the 1 here. This is guess and check. That's going to give me 2, and that's going to give me 3. 2 and 3 isn't going to give me 7. So I got to switch the spots. That's a 1. That's a 6. 1 and 6 gives me 7. And they both have to be negative because a negative plus a negative is negative, and a negative times a negative is a positive. Okay? So if it's multiple choice, I know that one's out. And that's all I know so far. Okay? Now I'm going to, but honestly, looking at the multiple choice is a little distracting for me. I'd rather do it myself and see if I can match one, okay? Because what I'm worried about is you go, this looks close enough. That's scary to me, okay? So then I'm going to make the x back to an a. Okay? But it's a to the 6th, so a cubed and a cubed is a to the 6th. It needs to be the b. The b is on the front end, so I need to put the b on the front end too. And b times b is b squared. So let's see what matches. 3a cubed, ab, boom. Okay? Some of you knew it wasn't b because b is on the back end and this is on the front end. But I almost just feel like that can be scarier to look at. Now, by the way, if you just circle that because you're using guess and check, you've got to show me some work to show me that you didn't just guess the letter D. Otherwise, you're not going to get credit. Okay? All right, find the product of this. Product means do the box or FOIL. I can do this in this space. So AT, AV, RT, RV. R comes first in the alphabet, so R comes first when I write it. So A, and by the way, this is, none of the letters are the same. So AT plus AV minus RT minus RV. Okay. All right, this is a solve the system. And it says on a separate piece of paper, of course, I can't do this in that little space. All right, so I'm going to call this A, this B, and this C. So I'm first going to do A and B, and I'm going to choose to get rid of X. I'm going to rewrite it because for my own sanity, it's just going to be easier. Some of you would multiply by -1. I could actually just subtract them, but I have to be careful because 3 minus -2 is 5y. If you're feeling like it's just easier to multiply by -1, multiply by -1. -6 minus -1 is -5z, and 4 minus -1 is 5. Okay? So I just got my first equation using AB. Now I'll use BC. Why? Because I feel like it. Okay? But I have to remember that I need to get rid of X, because that's the one I committed to the first time. Okay? So that means I'm going to multiply this by -4. Give. -4x plus 8y plus 4z equals 4. This is an easy opportunity for you to make silly mistakes, me included. And I won't necessarily know until I'm done that I made a mistake. Okay? So now I have these two equations. I have 5y minus 5z equals 5 and 9y plus 2z equals 20. So now I'm going to rewrite these and I'm going to solve the system here. Now I got to tell you, fancy Miss Rifkin wants to take this whole thing and divide it by 5. I would do that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't do it. But I want you to see if I divide this by 5 and this by 5 and this by 5, it's actually y minus z equals 1. If I can make my life easier by making the number smaller, I'm definitely going to do that. Okay? Now I'm going to multiply this by -9 because I'm going to get rid of the y. Some of you might decide to get rid of the z. Whatever. We should get the same answer in the end. -9y plus 9z equals -9. Add them up. 11z equals 11. Z equals 1. Okay? So, I took A, B, and BC. I made two equations. Then I solved for z. Now I'm going to take this z, and I can either plug it into the first equation or the second equation. I'm going to plug it into the first one, and I could have plugged it here, honestly, and I'd get the same thing. If you don't believe me, try both. I'm not going to. I don't feel like it. So y minus 1 equals 1, plus 1 plus 1, y equals 2. Great. I have y, and I have z. Now I'm going to take these two, and I'm going to pick one of my original equations here. Let me zoom in, and I'm going to plug it in. So, I know my y equals 2 and my z equals 1. I'm going to plug it into, I don't know, the first one, sure. My y is 2, my z is 1. So I'm going to go x plus 3 times 2 minus 6 times 1 equals 4. X plus 6 minus 6 equals 4. X equals 4. Okay? So now my answer is 4, 2, 1. Now I got to tell you, I'm not feeling super confident. So I'm going to check to make sure I'm right. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 plus 2 is 18. 2 times 1 is 2. 18 minus 2 is 16. So it works for that one. That's 4. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Negative of 1 is negative 1. And I know it works for the first one because that's what I plugged in. I'm feeling pretty confident. Okay. All right, let's go to the next one. So now this is an interesting question because they want to know which one is equal to -4. So this one's actually going to be worth quite a few points because this is my way of saying, hey, figure out the answer for this one, this one, this one, and this one. So I'll first try letter A. What it's saying is plug -3 in for G. So I'm going to do that. 3 times -3 minus 5, -9 minus 5 is -14. Then I take that -14 and I plug it in for F. Now I'm supposed to get -47. So here's the deal. I agree this is a very big number that's negative, and that's not equal to -47, so A's out. You write that, that's fine with me. But you've got to show me that you legitimately plugged it in. I'm feeling like each one of these would be worth 2 points on your test. Now let's try letter B. This time they're saying, hey, take -3 and plug it in for F. So I'm going to go 2 times -3 cubed minus 1. -3 cubed is -27 times 2 is -54 minus 1 is -55. I don't know if it's too big because I haven't finished. Now I'm going to take the -55 and plug it in for G. And 3 times -55 minus 5, that's -165 minus 5. That's obviously not it. B's out. Now I'm going to go to C. I'm taking -3. I'm plugging it in for F, which let's see, 2 times, oh, I did that right here, right? I got -55, so I can go like this, -55. C, I got it right there. But then I have to take the -55 and plug it into F again. Okay, that's just ridiculous. So 2 times -55, I'm going to show my work and go, that's a negative big number. Does it mean that it's letter D? I don't know, maybe none of them work. Don't make assumptions, okay? So let's do letter D. This is saying take -3, plug it into G. So when I do that, I get -14 because we did that in the beginning. I don't want to redo it. And then take that -14, let me move that over, and plug it into G again. So now we're going to take that and plug it in again. So I'm going to go 3 times -14 minus 5, -42 minus 5, -47. That is the winner. Okay, so D is the answer. Okay. All right, let's do this next one. They don't actually just want you to simplify it. They want you to find the value of K to make that true. Okay. The truth is, I don't know what to do on that side, but I can handle this side. So what they want you to do here is first box this out. When you box it out, you get x squared plus 3x plus 2, and they want you to add it to x squared minus 9x minus 58. When I do that, I get 2x squared minus 6x minus 56. And I'm solving here, right? So that's as much as I can do on the right side. Now, I know some of you go, I want to multiply this. But to me, this looks like factored form. And so it seems like if I'm solving for something, I want stuff to go away. So if I look here and I divide this by 2, and I take out a 2, now I have a 2 over here and a 2 over here, gone. Now I'm left with x minus 7, x plus k equals x squared minus 3x minus 28. And I go, oh, wait a minute, I know this. This is factoring. Two numbers that multiply to get 28 and add to 3 are 7 and 4. That's negative, that's positive. Hey, look, this matches. Bye. So now, what does k equal? 4. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop this video and I'll start the next one with this problem.